you should be able to see my screen. And you should all have some sort of control panel on the right side of your screen right here. And this control panel allows you to kind of participate in the webinar. We're going to, once people start talking automatically, or I'm going to mute everybody, and that's just so we don't hear background noise like typing or phones ringing or dogs barking, whatever. So know that once we get started with presentations, you'll be muted. If you want to say something, you can type in a question, you can raise your hand, or you can unmute yourself. This A section right here is the attendee list. That's where you should be able to see everybody else that's participating. This section B right here is the grab tab that allows you to maximize and minimize your screen. If you don't have a little control panel that looks like this here on my screen, then look for these little arrows and you should be able to maximize your screen. The audio pane here allows you to control how you're hearing us. So looks like all of you can hear me right now, so you shouldn't have a problem there. If at any time you do lose audio, pass it over to my colleague Peter in New York. I just want to say a big welcome to all of you. We're really excited that this worked out. It's sort of a first time around for us. We've been doing webinars here for about a year in North America, and we are thrilled to be able to expand it to our young ambassador colleagues in India. Before I pass it on, I just want to say we have 41 young ambassadors here in the U.S., and we're thrilled that 3 of them are joining us today, as well as 3 of the ambassadors from the India office. I sent all of you an email, so you should know the order that we're going in, but for the benefit of, we have a few other ambassadors that are listening in. I just want to tell everyone how it's going to run today. We're just going to have a few introductory remarks, hopefully also by Apurv in the India office, even though he's having some internet connection issues. So we'll just have a few minutes of introductions, and then each of the young ambassadors of our panelists is going to talk for about 5 minutes or so about their experience in Germany, their experience as a young ambassador, challenges, successes, and I'm really looking forward to hearing all the similarities and the differences between all of our different ambassadors. So the order that we're going to go, and I'll announce this before Govind, and then we'll finish with Greg. And then after that, we'll have an open discussion between all the young ambassadors that are here as panelists and those of them that are joining us in the audience today. So with that, I would invite my colleague Peter to say a few words. He is in the New York office, and then we will hopefully be able to hear a word or two from Apurv. Peter?
Yes, hi Leslie, thank you so much. And this is Peter Kerrigan, for those of you who are joining us from India. I'm sort of the North American equivalent of Apurv. I'm the Deputy Director of the office here in New York. And for those of you who are unfamiliar, we actually have 3 offices in North America. We have the regional office here in New York, and we work closely with Leslie, who runs the office in San Francisco, and Jessica Denenberg, who's on as well. I can see as an attendee. She's up in Toronto with Ava Portman, and they run the operations up there along with Alexandra Hausstein. My other hat that I wear here is the Director of Marketing and Outreach, so I'm very excited to be on this participating. Or I should say listening in on this webinar. And I wanted to thank all of you, the young ambassadors, regardless of where you are right now, or whether you're looking at a palm tree or a snowbank outside your window right now, because really, without the work that you do, we wouldn't be able to do the work that we do. And we really appreciate the sense that you are volunteers, that you are using our time and energy to spread the word about the experiences you've had in Germany, and particularly now when we're working in so many time zones, 8:30 in the morning versus 10 or 11 o'clock at night. So we appreciate you taking the time out of your schedules to be with us today, and I'm just going to be silent from now on and sit back and listen to the amazing information that you'll share with us. So again, thank you. On behalf of DAAD, at least in North America, and can't come back, India as well. Leslie, it's over to you.
Thanks, Peter. And now we'll give Apurv a shot. Hopefully there's an internet connection change over there. Can you hear us? Apurv? Looks like that's remaining the same. So I'll keep you unmuted here, Apurv, and if at any time you're able to connect in, please do jump in. So with that, I guess we will start with Vikas. Are you there? Can you hear us?
Yes, perfect. I can hear you.
Great, thank you. And yeah, you're in Darmstadt. You are our German representation today. So welcome, and yeah, we look forward to hearing about your experience.
Thank you very much. So are you going to give me this option where I can present my screen onto you?
Yeah, absolutely. I can do that right now. There you go.
Okay, and then I press show my screen. Yeah. So can you all see my screen now?
Yep, and I actually muted everybody else just so that there's no feedback, but
Okay.
I'm seeing your screen quite clear. Oh, look at you. Great.
Okay, so all of you can see my screen, but is this this panel bar from the webinar thing obstructing the view on the right side, or
no? I don't know how they do it, but you can't see it.
Okay.
So.
Okay, let's just forget about it and move on then. Okay, are we ready to start?
Go for it. Take the lead.
Okay, thank you so much. So good morning to everybody in the United States of America, and of course good evening to all my countrymen back in India. So I'm like really in between both of you, and I'm right now in Germany, and so I'm very happy to be on this really intercontinental discussion of the young ambassadors, and I'm very excited to talk to all of you. So just to, I think I will just talk through with my presentation, so I've just arranged it, everything I say is on my presentation. So let's just go through it. So just to say a bit about me, I was doing my bachelor's in materials engineering at the National Institute of Technology in Karnataka, which is in the southern part of India. So as I always say, ours was the only university in India which had a private beach. So that's a really unique selling point which we had. And I think also one of them in California, I think it's University of California at Santa Barbara, also has a private beach.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, she can rival you for a beach there.
Ours is better. Okay, so and then 2008, I got a fellowship from the French government where I was working for 3 months in France. So that was my first European connection. And then in 2009 is when I got my DAAD Vice Fellowship when I came to the Technische Universität at Darmstadt. And I was working on some really small nanostructures which you can look there. And these are the things which form your memory devices in your iPhones and iPads. And yeah, so it's very cool. So at present, I'm a graduate student back again at the Technische Universität at Darmstadt. I'm doing something called a fast-track PhD program, which is very attractive. It is offered only to some students who have had some prior research experience at the concerned German university before. So I'm really happy to be back here, and so this gives me a very unique perspective as a young ambassador to actually come back and be in a German university while I'm promoting it to other colleagues or friends of mine. So I'm working at the Advanced Thin Film Technology Division, and we do some really cool nanostructures for memory and other things. So this is a picture of all the young ambassadors from India, and this was when we met His Excellency, the German ambassador to India, and we were all really dressed up well, and yeah, it was a good experience. So my activities as a young ambassador could be just categorized into these four things, four different kinds of it. So talks and presentations to an audience, or word of mouth, one-to-one communication through media, or participation to events. So we'll just look at some pictures and I will tell you what I did. Why is my slide moving? Okay, so talks and presentations to an audience. So this was a talk which I gave at my university first time, and it was really full, and people did not have a place to sit, and they were all really eager to know how they can go to Germany, and they were all very, I mean, the WISE program is very popular in India now, especially in the bachelor colleges. So this was another university in Bangalore. It's my hometown, where I gave another presentation about the DAAD and also the program. So, and in the end, I was really greeted by the lady there, who was the director of the university, and people said things like, we thank Mr. Vikas Shabadi for coming here and giving us the speech in spite of his busy schedule. So that was really exciting to hear, yes. Okay, so yeah, it gave me a good opportunity. Okay, the screen just sometimes does something.
Yeah, I think the control panel gets in the way sometimes. You have to click twice instead of once.
Okay, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So the next talk was at College of Engineering in Pune, which is also a very good one, so let's just skip through that. And the next part, of course, was the media. So these were 2 articles of mine which were recently on the newspaper in India, and so yeah, this I think was very effective, and I think I was able to do this with the help of Apoorv and other colleagues from India. And yeah, this also made me really popular, and I got a lot of friend requests on Facebook after this, so it was good fun. And then this was yeah, this was a radio interview which I gave here in Germany, and it was aired on one of the German channels. So this was about promoting Indian universities to German students on the other side. So the next one is the participation at events in Germany, and this was called the Deutsche Indische Student Symposium 2010, which was at the Humboldt University, and I was a part of it. I spoke as a part of a panel, and then I played some sitar, which I'm usually playing in India, and yeah, here it was another perspective where basically I spoke about India to the German students who were interested to go there. Okay, I just have 3 or 4 more slides. So this was a German dinner in one of the residences of one of the German DAAD colleagues in India, and here it was a good opportunity to do networking with a lot of them. And the last one, of course, was word of mouth communication. So my target was to reach out to at least 2,000 people. So in this way, if all the young ambassadors of India, the 16 of them reached out to 2,000, that would be 32,000. And thinking at least 10% of them would decide to go to Germany, that would be still 3,200, a good number. So that was my idea. Okay, and then I just show you some pictures. So, vielen Dank and herzliche Grüße aus Deutschland. And this is a friend of mine. We were standing in front of the Brandenburg Tor. This is really my most favorite place in Germany. And some pictures, and yeah, that's about it. So I end with that. I think I already took 6 minutes, so let's go to the next one.
No, that's totally fine. We're not that tight there on time, but that was fantastic. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I have to say I'm really impressed with the turnout at your events. The turnout at your information sessions.
Yeah, there were more than 400 people at every session, and yeah, they had no place to sit. Yeah, so it was a good feeling.
I know my colleagues and I would beg for 400 people at an event, or 50 people. That's really fantastic. So thank you so much for that, and I look forward to a discussion.
Thank you very much.
For all those.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Pictures and yeah. Thank you. So
thank
Joanne.
You very much. I also thank Apoorv.
Yeah, I think he's logged on, and hopefully he'll log back on here in a second. So yeah,
okay.
Thank you so much, and it looks like you're on, Joanne.
Okay, great. So I don't see the tab to share my screen. Hello?
Okay.
Leslie,
yep,
can you hear me?
I will give that to you right now. Yes, I can.
Great. Oh. Show my screen. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yeah. Great.
Okay, great. All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Joanne Buenaventura. I'm coming into you live from Irvine. I actually have a really great view of palm trees, so I feel sorry for everyone who has snow right now. I guess we'll just go ahead and get started. So I studied abroad in Germany a couple years ago. I was in the University of Göttingen for 8 months. I was studying philosophy and German studies. Oh, so to get involved in my school, I joined a club for archery, and then I got a speaking partner. So that was really exciting. And while I was in Germany, I actually moved to do an internship in Berlin for 4 months. So I moved while I was in Germany. So I had to look up how to find an apartment, how to find an internship, and I did that all web-based. And the great thing about that was that it gave me a really good perspective to to help everybody else out who are interested in moving around in Germany and looking for an internship. While I was in Berlin, I interned with the Institute for Cultural Diplomacy. Oh, okay. So anyways, that was just a quick overview. I don't think it's very exciting. Oh, a little bit more about these pictures. You'll see down here, that's me with a giant snowball hitting my friend. While we were in Germany, we did a sort of German-American exchange. So we had a Thanksgiving, which is a holiday they don't have in Germany, but it's pretty big here in the States. And over here in the corner, you see a Weihnachtsmarkt. Okay, so one of the prompts that Leslie had given us, what's the general perception of Germany in your home country? So I'm from Southern California, so Germany isn't necessarily a popular study abroad destination. Most people like to go to Italy or Spain, or if they're going to learn a language, they want to learn Arabic or Mandarin. And that's just paralleling current U.S. foreign policy right now, which I think is a shame because my university has one of the best German studies programs in the country, but going abroad to Germany is pretty exclusive. Not a lot of people want to do it. But the people who do want to do it tend to be the most studious. So I guess the quantity isn't there, but the quality is definitely there. Some examples of things that I did as a young ambassador, I did things called info sessions, much like the previous Indian young ambassador, except mine were really small. I think in total I had 4 people come out, but of those 4 people, 2 of them actually filled out an application, and 2 of them did get grants. So it was a 50% turnout, which is really good. And then I did a study. I had a booth at a study abroad fair, which you can see pictures here. I made little cupcakes in the shape of a German flag, if you can see it there. And I had about 80 people sign up for more information, but of them, I'm not really sure how many actually filled out applications. So even though the quantity was a little bit higher, I don't think it was quite as successful. I also sat in on internship panels. If you can see it, there's another picture in the corner. With those, I think I didn't get very many people actually applying to a DAAD grant, but I did get them thinking about interning in Germany and eventually going to Germany professionally or academically. Other things that I did is I did email partnerships. Well, I was using the email, so it was basically like, hi, I'm here, we have all these grants, if you want more information, just go ahead and email me. And I also just made one-on-one connections with each of the departments, telling them if any of your students are interested in going abroad for graduate work or research work, just go ahead and give them my information and I can help them. So that was a more direct way of outreaching to people who are specifically interested in going to Germany. So I think that was pretty successful. Oops, sorry, I don't know how to go back. But also, I held a Stammtisch at our local pub. It happens every Tuesday. People who are interested in Germany just sit there and talk about Germany and speak in German with each other. I think that one's more fun than it is outreaching with the DAAD. And the final one is basically I just tell all my friends about the DAAD grants, and I know a lot of them have applied. And the great thing about this Young Ambassador program is that being active in your interest in Germany and in being academically interested in Germany, you have a lot of friends who also share those interests. So even though that I can't apply to these grants anymore, I have a lot of friends who still can. So another one of the prompts that Leslie had given us is why don't students in your region, why don't they want to go to Germany? So the top 3 reasons I saw was the utility of German. Like I said, in current U.S. foreign policy, Germany and the EU isn't really at the top. Actually, it's China and India. And so not a lot of students are interested in German. But what I tell everyone is that the more you study your specific major in the sciences or in the humanities, the more you realize that German comes up. Either your colleagues are German or speak German as well. There are a lot of words that transfer over, like Zeitgeist or Tathandlung, that it makes sense in German but not in English. And also there's a lot of literature that makes more sense in German than it does in English. And then there's always that famous that famous story where Albert Einstein's famous last words are lost to history because his nurse couldn't speak German. So that's why everyone should speak German. Also, one of the reasons why people don't want to go to Germany is it snows there. I'm from California. They're petrified of the snow and cold weather. But as you can see from my pictures, it's really gorgeous when it snows. You can have a lot of fun. You can see a picture of me making a little duck out of snow. And one of the final reasons why they don't want to go to Germany is it's really far. They don't want to leave their friends and family. But as you can see in the other pictures, you can make a lot more friends. You can make a lot of memories, and you make all these stories that you can go home and share with your family. So all of these reasons of why not Germany are really very good reasons. And there are plenty of benefits. For studying abroad, going to Germany is actually inexpensive by comparison to, say, Spain or Italy. It's also centrally located in Europe, so you have the opportunity to travel out to different parts of Europe. Even though Germany's so great, you can actually travel pretty easily. It's also extremely beneficial and a great investment. You do learn a lot, and yeah, sorry. This final slide is just 2 common questions that I get a lot about Germany, which is how do I find internships in Germany and how do I find housing in Germany. Basically, if they ask me about these things, I just send them these websites. This bottom part is just a really big tip that I try to keep in mind. Being a young ambassador is to resist the temptation to do everything for the people asking you questions, because you can easily eat up a lot of time that way. And I just see myself as sort of like a stepping stone and intermediary between their initial interest in going to Germany and finding all of these resources to get them the opportunity that they want. But I shouldn't be the one who's, laying everything out for them. I should just be a stepping stone, basically. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Great, Joanne. Thank you so much. That was excellent. And I want to point out Joanne is one of our returning ambassadors. She was an ambassador for the last academic year, and she stayed on for an extra year. So thanks, Joanne, for sharing that experience with us. And I really like your links. That's really helpful. You did a great job pulling those together. And now we're going to move on to Pratik. Are you there? Pratik? Pratik, can you hear us?
Yeah, hi. Yes.
Oh, great. Excellent.
Hello?
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 We can hear you. Hello? We can hear you, Pratik. Can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Yep, I can.
Great.
Hello?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Take it away. I think there's a delay. There might be a
Okay.
second or
Hello?
two delay.
Yes, I can.
Great.
Hello?
Yep. So, Pratik, I think there's a few seconds delay. So, if you talk, it should
Okay,
work,
yeah.
as long as I'm not interrupting you.
So I'm sharing my screen right now, and I'm pasting the link. So if you can't see it,
Great. Yeah, I can see it. Looks great.
okay, sure. So yeah, I'll start.
Yes, go for it. Thank you.
Hello? Okay, so hi, I'll assume that everyone can hear. And yeah, so I'm Pratik, and hi everyone. Sorry, there's some. So yeah, so I'm Pratik, and I did my bachelor's in computer science at this thing. So these people talked about the beach, so I actually studied at one of the best beaches in the world. So I did my undergrad in computer science at the Mitspilani Goa campus. So I graduated a few months back, and I'm currently actually working for Oracle, where I'm into software products. So when in Germany, I was actually at University of Augsburg, where I went as a DAAD scholar. So I did my internship in the software engineering department at Augsburg, and there's a video out there, but I probably skip through it. So
Yeah, I think
when
the
I was
webinar
there,
doesn't show videos.
Hello?
So, yeah, the webinar technology
Hello?
doesn't allow for videos.
Excuse me. Okay, that's okay, but can you hear me, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's okay. I've shared the link so people can view it in their browser.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah. So when I was in Germany, I did the normal stuff. I guess most of us did the same thing. I was in the Bavarian Alps, so I got to trek along the things, and I went on the autobahn for treks and hikes. And normally like the countryside, so I got to do a lot of hiking and trekking in the Alpine region. And yeah, so at the college itself, I got to work with a lot of robots and stuff because my university, the projects, they were focusing on mechatronics. So I got to do a lot of stuff with robots and touchscreen interfaces, which is like the iPad and iPod, stuff like that. So yeah, and I did some pretty interesting research as part of my actual internship work, and I ended up presenting a paper at an international conference in Hanover. So yeah. So as a young ambassador, the most common thing I do is answer queries. So I give lectures at times to school children, or I give it in my college and also at the workplace. So the normal queries people get, I just made a summary of most of the questions. So people have questions about the exam, and they tend to not have a very clear idea of what it takes to get admission into Germany. So these people are normally the ones applying for masters or postgraduate or PhD programs. So yeah, so questions about how to get in, questions about universities and their rankings and what opportunities they offer. So I have a collection of links and things which I share with them, and most of them, the time I link them with the appropriate people back again. So yeah, then things about money, of course. So most of them aren't aware of the fellowships that are available or the scholarships. So I get them some things. And then there are some very specific questions in which I try to help if they have done their background study, else I just give them the link of the appropriate program and tell them to find it themselves. So yeah, then this is another very common question I get, because I'm not sure, because people don't normally understand the role of a young ambassador. So they'll tend to send me their CV resumes and this letter of motivation and ask me to review it. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I help, sometimes I don't if it's a lot of mails. Then yeah, these are the kind of questions asked by the younger lot. So they have just joined college or they are before college, because I've done some events at high schools. So these are the kind of questions they ask. So, and they have a keen interest in Germany because they are familiar with at least the auto industry, some of them with the football, and so they know about Germany as an interesting place. So I just help them in pursuing it as an education destination. And yeah, then there's some weird queries, like I got a query from Romania for medicine in Germany. I guess he found me through Facebook or something. So this was an interesting one. And there was another interesting case where there is something called as an UPSC exam for people to do government policy jobs in India. So there's a DAAD public policy scholarship, and no one was aware of it. So I shared it with them, and a lot of them were actually interested in applying to that. I'm not sure how many did, but this was something completely different from me. Yeah. So, and another interesting thing which I did was actually I got a query from my languages department to help find someone to teach German. So I got linked with the Goethe Institute here in Bangalore and the consular office in the state, and I found something called as the Indo-German Friendship Society. So what they do is there are this my place Goa is like popular tourist destination. So there's a lot of Germans who come to the state, and so what these people used to do is some of them used to get together at local college and teach a language to the locals, because learning German would help them interact with the tourists, so better business. So I just put them together, and so these people now go to our campus whenever they come to Goa, and they take classes and stuff. So I just help connect the Germans who come as tourists to do something at the university and in the area. So yeah, I recently joined Oracle in software. So we had this program called Campus to Corporate, and what happens is we give presentations and stuff. So as Vikas had said, there was a lot of articles in the local media which people read about. So they were very interested to know about it. So I gave a talk about it at my workplace. So even at the workplace, I get a lot of queries because most people tend to do their undergrad studies, then take a break, work for a year or two, and go back to grad school. So they are these kind of people, so a lot of interested, and they're much more serious than the undergrad lot. So I do get a lot of queries from people workplace. Some typical challenges I face are like normally people ask for examples. So as of now, I found some alumni of our campus or some other people who have been very successful and done their studies in Germany and also work there. So I tend to cite them whenever these people ask for, is there anyone we can talk to in this particular areas? And answering questions about jobs, because many people from India tend to focus on jobs after working. So about the visa process and stuff. So there's a lot of lack of clarity. So I tend to help them in that. But these are the two main challenges for which giving actual numbers becomes very important rather than just plain advice. So, and yeah, and I also use a lot of random trivia in my everyday talk conversations. So random questions. Then I must being a computer scientist, we tend to talk about startups and computer things. So we do use a lot of things. And I found this thing called Quora, which is pretty useful to find people in Germany to talk about such stuff. So I use that when speaking to people. Yep, that's a bit. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Pratik. It's really interesting, especially to see also how you've woven your ambassador role into your workplace, which might not be, the first thing that that we think of. And there's a considerable time delay between you and me, I think, Pratik. So if you're hearing me with a few seconds delay, I apologize, but I was able to hear you quite clearly. So thank you very much. Yep. I look forward to the Q&A, and I loved your presentation. I've seen this Prezi thing a few times before, but seeing it live, you did a phenomenal job. I really like that mode for presenting it. Makes PowerPoint. It's much sexier than PowerPoint. So good job on that. And with that, we will move over to Shauna, who also studies at a university on the beach. Shauna, are you hearing us?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Shauna, can you hear us? Shauna?
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes. Welcome. Thank you.
Okay.
Shauna? Shauna? For the other ambassadors, could you raise your hand if you can hear Shauna? You can raise your hand via the control panel. I'm not able to hear her. Can anyone else hear her? Nope, nobody can. Okay. Okay, so Shauna, maybe you could do some troubleshooting on your end. I'll see if I can chat with you, and maybe we'll just then go ahead and move on and come back to you. Govind, I will unmute you if you'd like to share with us. Hello, Govind, are you there?
Hello. Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Hello. Hi. Can we jump to you while we try to troubleshoot with Shauna?
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Yeah, not a problem at all.
Great. So take it away when you're ready. Okay, Govind, would you like to, can you go ahead?
I can go ahead.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Hi everyone. Good morning to folks. Good morning to folks in US. Hi Vikas and Prateek from India. Hello everyone. Well, I'll directly jump onto my conclusion as we have very stipulated time for this presentation and a lot to speak. So this on the first slide, is everyone able to see this slide, the presentation?
Yes, yep, it looks great.
Okay. So on the left-hand corner, that's my home college from where I did my undergraduation in the Department of Biotechnology. It's called the National Institute of Technology, Warangal, one of the top 10 colleges in India. Then on next to it, we have the famous Goethe Institute, the Göttingen University, the university which has produced, associated with the 45 Nobel laureates, with the likes of Nernst and Max Planck and Born, so many people, big names. Now, and coming down to my role as an ambassador, we have a pic here from the residence of His Excellency Mr. Thomas Matusek when we were there in January last year, all the young ambassadors, and we can also see Mrs. Slotman there with us. And right now I'm working for a software giant from India called Wipro Technologies, doing a lot of stuff. It does a lot of stuff for US. Well, coming to presentation, first I would like to show about my experience in Germany, what it was being there in Germany. So welcome to Germany, the land of ideas. So what Germany has to offer? It has to offer from the ancient heritage to the most sophisticated infrastructures. As you can see, the Berlin railway station, one of the largest railway station on the European mainland. Here we can see that from the serene beauty of this lake to the enchanting greenery of the forest. This is the Black Forest part of the region, the Freiburg. From the slow-moving yachts to the thrilling speed of the automobile. This is the Mercedes-Benz Museum in Stuttgart. From the hard-working people in the lab to the sporty people on the street. From the traditions of the past to the life of the modern times. This is the Reeperbahn in the Hamburg. From the moving souls to the celebration. The unity which Germany stands for amidst its diversity. This was one thing I always tell this. People worked in the lab which had some people from 17 nationalities, and it was such a cultural experience and a wonderful experience. Lifetime I can boast of something. And for all this, for introducing us to Germany, for giving us an opportunity, we would like to thank DAAD for this, the opportunity they gave us during that scholarship to go and visit Germany, and later our association with Germany as young ambassadors. So coming down to that, about our role as young ambassadors, Prateek and Vikash, have mostly covered most of it. Because we were after being appointed as a young ambassador, and even before that, as soon as we came back from Germany, people started querying us a lot about Germany. Okay, how was it? What was the experience? During our days only in Germany, we used to upload so many photos and tell about experience back home. So there's so many queries that, okay, how about it, and how do we go there? And as soon as we landed back, people, our immediate juniors, they started flooding our inboxes with queries that, okay, I want to go to Germany. What is the process for internship? When the process will open? And giving addressing these queries was really, a satisfying experience that, okay, we have experienced something, we are telling the people, and now they're preparing for it, that, okay, they also want to go. And we gave a lot of presentations in our college, and from my college, in our batch, 11 people were selected, but from the next batch, went to 34. That was like highest from any college in the last batch. We went to Germany for this internship. So after that, we went to the official making of the ambassador, which took place in Delhi, and we came back with a lot of material which we could provide. So we circulated that among colleges and also among the neighboring colleges. Like this institute Warangal, it has around Warangal there are many local colleges. So we went on to spread the material in the form of both the pamphlets and the soft copy of the material to these colleges. And during the technical fests which occur in college, we could publicize about the activities of the DAAD and about Germany being a very good destination to pursue the higher studies, all what Germany offers. And recently, I accompanied Mr. Apurv Mahendru and Mrs. Chandramauli back to college. After working while I was still working. That time we addressed the teachers. Like that was one of the focus which Mr. Mahendru was speaking. That okay, the students will just pass. They are there in the college for 4 years, but it is the teachers who remain in the college for 2 decades, 3 decades, or 4 decades. So if we're able to reach that target audience, we'll be able to spread the message in a more seamless manner, in a more continuous manner. So visited the college, and I was actually surprised that we got an audience for all the head of the departments and the director and all the position holders of the college. That was the first time in my history of my stay in college that I saw that okay, all of them are coming together for some presentation or something. And it went on quite well. In the evening, we had something called the DJ night. So people arranged for fun and frolic. And surely the buzzword DAAD remained there, will last there for years to come. And coming batches, they're showing not even like, because the cutoff for getting this internship is high. So I had a talk with one of my teachers in my department back in college, and he was telling that just to make that cutoff, to reach that cutoff, people have started working hard. That okay, I shouldn't miss that cutoff because the cutoff is 8 CGPA, so I shouldn't miss that. Let me work hard. So it's the only aim of getting internship is helping them overall in their academic career also. And a couple of my friends from my college, my department, they are currently studying in Germany. I'm really happy for them. And at workplace also, just as Prateek mentioned, we get a couple of queries regarding Germany. Okay, how does it work out about the language barrier and stuff? But overall, the image which Germany holds, it's towards the positive side. People are open for studies in Germany and are looking forward to it. Yeah, that's all from my side.
Great. Thanks so much, Govind. And I really like the point you made about accessing the teachers and how important it is, because they're the ones that are going to be there for longer than 4 years, and getting them on your side is really, really important. So I appreciate you bringing that up. And also your point there at the end, too, about how the goal of getting an internship or having a goal to work towards can help the students overall, even beyond just having the internship itself, working towards something like that improves them. So that's also a very good point. Thank you for these beautiful pictures, and having this cake here is making me hungry. I don't know if other people are having that as well, but yeah, thanks for sharing that.
This was the cake during our internship, during our master meeting in New Delhi.
Did one of you make that? I'm quite impressed.
No, we actually got it made from one of the shops, bakery.
Oh, it looks wonderful, even at 9 o'clock in the morning for me. But yeah, so great. Thanks so much, Govind. And actually, now we are going to run over to Nina Lemons, who runs the Communications Internationalization Abteilung out of Bonn. Nina, can you hear us? Are you there?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, great. Hi, Nina. You're loud and clear as well.
Can you hear me as well?
Yes. Excellent.
Yes. Oh, okay. Hi,
so
everybody.
If you'd like to just say a few words from Bonn, that would be fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, I just chipped in about 15 minutes ago, and I'm very impressed by this whole webinar thing. It's my first webinar, so you see how old I am, that I'm not used to this kind of communication. I find it very impressive, and I find it very impressive what you guys I've just seen the presentations by Pratik and Govind, so two of our Indian young ambassadors. I'm very impressed by the way you approach this task, and I'm really grateful to you, as well as to everybody else in the States and in India, that you're doing this work for us. And I really hope that this will also keep you in touch with the DAAD, because that's very important to us, that we keep a kind of lifelong relationship to you. So yeah, thank you very much, and I hope that you will go out and spread the word even more from now on, that it's worthwhile studying and doing research in Germany.
Great. Thanks so much, Nina. I appreciate you jumping in. I know you were coming right from a meeting, so kind of running around the office there in Bonn. I appreciate it, and really glad that you were able to listen in and share with us briefly. So now we will move to
Thanks to
Shauna.
all of you.
Great. Shauna, we'll give this a try again. Shauna, can you hear us?
All right, can you hear me now?
There we go. Yes, yes.
Yeah?
Fantastic.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Hopefully it stays like this.
Okay.
All right, so I'm not going to show my screen yet because I haven't created a wonderful presentation like everybody else, but I'm just going to talk for a bit about myself. So my name is Shauna Thompson, and I'm a senior global studies and German major at the University of California, Santa Barbara, and this is the other beach school. And I beg to differ. I think my beach is better, but I guess that's just my point of view. But yeah, I guess I could say I first became interested in Germany in 2005. I was about like 16 years old, and I traveled with my rival high school to 7 different countries within 3 weeks. And yeah, if you guys have ever done a trip like this, you probably know how hard it is to keep track of where you are at any given point. But Germany left a great impact. I remember thinking, this place has castles, it's so green, the people are so friendly, and I mean, it's just kind of a fairy tale land. So the following year, I met a German exchange student at my high school named Katharina Busse, who quickly became a close friend of mine, and she moved out of her host family's house into my house for a total of 7 months. And the following 4 summers, I either spent in Germany traveling around with her family, or she came back to California traveling with mine. And so, yeah, once college started, I started taking German and realized how great the language was. And I mean, the people in German classes here, it's very interesting at UC Santa Barbara. They're either like hardcore Rammstein fans, or they're, I don't know, they just heard the language and thought it was cool. Like, some people in the classes have distant relatives in Germany. One of the girls from my German class actually had grandparents who were Holocaust survivors, so it's always interesting to hear their stories. But overall, the outlook, it's very positive, at least in the German department. Outside of German class is probably a bit different. I spend a lot of time with the German reciprocity students on my campus, and they've told me a more descriptive account of how Americans view the German culture from here. And then again, this is also a generalization, but my friend Tim was saying usually upon meeting Americans, he hears the same thing, like, oh, you're from Germany, great, what city are you from? And it turns out the Americans don't know any other city besides Munich or Berlin, if that. Then again, these are just the people that don't know very much about the world. But of course, at a college level, students are more open to different cultures and are willing to understand them. Then again, stereotypes occasionally arise. According to the same friend, lots of people don't understand why he doesn't play soccer, why he's not studying math or physics, and that generally a lot of guys want to talk about cars and beer, but then again, they always, like, the German guys enjoy talking about it too, so it's not, I wouldn't say it's really a stereotype. But anyways, about promoting Germany, while I was abroad for a year at Humboldt University in Berlin, I started writing a book for the UC EAP system, and it's the first student-made book about Germany. And in the back of the book, because it's for prospective students looking to study abroad there, I've created a page for DAAD as well, so it's kind of for the benefit of that. And so the students will learn from the beginning what opportunities they have abroad. But as for, like, the most effective way to get students in the know. I did classroom visits in the beginning of the year. It was probably last October, and afterwards I held a coffee hour so that anybody wanting to hear more about studying abroad, they could go between a certain time period on the same day. And at the same time, I advertised for an Oktoberfest event that I hosted at a German restaurant in town. And actually, I do have pictures of this. It's the same pictures I showed at the last thing, but here I'm going to show my screen. That works.
From
yes,
cake
okay,
to
so
sausage,
now let's
not
go
bad.
with the cake. Yeah. So this is at the restaurant. We sang German songs and danced crazy dance. This is lots of these were also exchange students interested in studying abroad as well. Yeah, and then just yeah. So also we've had events at my house. We did like a Weihnachtsfest thing, and we made Lebkuchen and stuff like that. We had another barbecue at my house. And we did of course, did the study abroad fair on campus, which unfortunately I don't have pictures for. But what I think is more interesting is what we're planning to do this quarter. Just like within the past 2 weeks, we've built the German club up at my school from its roots. And here's the page. I'll try to see if I can figure it out. So this is like we made this last week, I think. And we have all these fancy things and events planned. Like Saturday, we had another event at this German restaurant. And then the next event that I'm planning is for February. It's actually February 8th. The date's wrong on there. And it's going to be a huge speed dating event for Valentine's Day, which I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be really funny. Everyone's really excited about it that I've talked to. I've kind of spread the word. We made posters and stuff. Unfortunately, it's not on my computer, so I can't show you. But it seems like it's going to be a pretty good turnout. Like, see, we got Santa Barbara and Berlin, and
so everyone's going to try their pickup lines in German.
Yes, actually, we invited all the German exchange students, so they can get some practice, like tandem practice and stuff. And then, so for this event, I actually hold on, see if my computer is very slow. So sorry. So we have new officers and stuff, and I thought, well, if as events, yeah, for events coordinating and stuff, it's perfect to be connected with the German club because everyone is very involved. We have meetings once a week, and we're going to start using the forum up here because BRID sends all these great great opportunities for, like, I think there was an inventor opportunity and stuff, and one for policy making in Germany, and like stuff like this that, like, so that students will be able to see what are the current things they could apply for. This is at one of our meetings. We learned how to do the I think it's called the Schuhplatte, this crazy dance thing, and we had pretzels and stuff, and I mean, this is all very new. This is just within the past few weeks this all started. So we have a bunch of events planned also. We're going to have an opera day and learn about all classic music, and I don't know, it's looking very positive for this upcoming quarter. I think if you got the right people behind you helping you, it's going to be a lot more interesting, and we're going to get the word out a lot more too. So that's about it. I don't have very many other pictures and stuff, unfortunately, on me, but that's what we have.
No, thanks, Shanna, and it's great to see the German Club website and see how much you've done in just a few weeks, and look forward to hearing about how all these activities pan out. So thanks for sharing that, and I'm glad we got the technical issue going. And with that, we'll scoot over.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great. Thanks, Shanna. And we'll scoot over to our final presenter, Greg, on the other coast there in New York. Greg, hello. Welcome.
Hello. Let me just,
great.
My screen, if it works. There. Can you guys see that, or?
Yep, looks great.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm on the other coast where there's substantially more snow, and although it hasn't been all bad. Yeah, no. Well, there's a beach, but I don't know that I would brave myself on it this time of year. Yeah, so I am a student at NYU, which there is no real campus for NYU, which is one of the problems I'll get into a little later. It's a large university right in Manhattan, and there are a real range of programs that are offered at the university, which has been both a blessing and a curse in terms of getting people to study in Germany. And so I studied at Humboldt in Berlin, and at NYU I am making my own major in sort of, it's a politics, international travel, international business type program with some German. And at Humboldt, I was in the history department there as a Programmstudent, and I was there for 1 year. I did my fall semester with NYU in Berlin, which is the school-sponsored study abroad, and then the spring semester I did an exchange program at Humboldt. And I traveled all around, and it was nice to be there for a year because you kind of you see what a year in Germany and in Europe is. You know, you get the whole cycle. You get, I have a couple pictures, Mauerfall, well, obviously not the real Mauerfall, but the 20th anniversary of Mauerfall. There was a whole bunch of those kind of events where it was just, you could do that. I went to Oktoberfest, and it was so easy, especially Berlin is, there was a lot of opportunities to go abroad just really cheaply. We went to Tunisia for a week. We went all around to Austria and up north, and which was really nice. Berlin's central location really kind of helped facilitate that. And that is one of the things that I try and emphasize. And then in the spring, the 1st of May parade, demonstration, celebration, whatever you want to call it. And so, so then, yeah. So back in New York, it's interesting because Germany has this sort of dual perception, I feel like, here, at least in New York, where a lot of people that don't really know about Germany associate it with either the former events that took place last century with the World War, or on the other side, especially with NYU and the strong arts program, they'll know some of the German cinema and whatnot, and they'll know the German art scene, but they won't know exactly where it comes from or how it's based. And so one of the biggest things that I've been trying to educate people on, and not so much combat, but try and get the word out on, is just that Germany is a multifaceted place. It isn't just sauerkraut and people wearing lederhosen and drinking beer. And so one of the interesting things about New York is there are these small little enclaves of Germanness. And one of them is the picture here, the Steuben Day parade in the fall, which takes place all along Fifth Avenue in New York. And there was a group of us from NYU that marched in the parade and handed out things. And actually, pretty much all the people in this picture, I'm obviously included in that, but the other people in the picture are all applying for DAAD grants, either coming up this, or have already applied for them, or are coming up this coming year. And so that's been one of the biggest, I guess, benefits, is that when you have sort of a close-knit sort of group of people that know really about Germany and really want to know more about it and want to study abroad, and then you have the people that have no idea and it's interesting about Germany because there is no real middle ground, I feel like, the same way there is with France or Italy or some of the other European countries where people think they know, but they, or have a basic idea. So some events I ran as a young ambassador, it's been a little challenging. I've had to be patient with NYU. The first and only real study abroad fair is taking place tomorrow. So I've had to wait and be patient about that. But in terms of the campus, we went, well, I went along with one of my good friends to all the German classes on campus, and there's a fair amount of them, and gave information about the DAAD, and then held a meeting session and Q&A session about it. I handed out flyers on the campus, and I would say the two most fun events were we went to a restaurant with a bunch of the people that were applying or have applied for DAAD grants, and just kind of talked about their concerns, how to do applications, and just really what studying in Germany really means for them. And finally, one of the probably the most fun events was sort of a DAAD house party potluck dinner, where I invited a bunch of people to my apartment, and we really just had a nice evening of just kind of sharing food from mostly German-style food, and just having a nice get-together of people that really appreciated Germany, and especially people that one of the big things I noticed was that a lot of people that did the NYU program in Berlin wanted to go back and wanted to find a way to get there. And so it was a really easy way to sort of insert the DAAD into the conversation, because that is what the DAAD is there for. And so that was definitely helpful. So I just wrote this short list of challenges. The perceptions of Germany, like I said before, especially NYU's programs are mostly focused in Berlin, which is really sort of the arts and anarchy center of Germany. So it's kind of interesting in that sense to get the word out there, in that sense that there are a lot of NYU students that I think if they knew what Germany had to offer, and it was more than just sauerkraut and beer, and its art galleries and wine tastings and whatnot, that there would be many more people that study abroad. Little-known programs that it isn't just all about math and science, and it's interesting hearing some of the people from India saying that they want, or not just India, but some of the other people saying, oh, math and science, because at NYU it's interesting that most people want different than math and science. They want, I mean, obviously there are people that want math and science, but there are many other areas of focus, NYU being strong on the arts. The late NYU Study Abroad Fair that I alluded to earlier, and then NYU Study Abroad in general has been both a blessing and a curse, because on the one hand, NYU wants to funnel people to their Berlin campus, which is expanding, so they don't want to sort of poach that market, especially for people that know the basics of the German language. But at the same time, they want to encourage people to go abroad, because, I mean, it's good for the students and it's good for the reputation of the university. And I've had kind of mixed luck with talking to the study abroad office. It really depended on who I was talking to. The German department has been great. Study abroad office has been a mixed bag. And then finally, that there is no real campus compared to especially the traditional U.S. college experience, where there's a centralized place. And so, yeah, and so without that centralized location, it's been a very mixed bag in terms of trying to organize events that can appeal to the most number of people. And with that, I finish the presentation.
Great. Thanks so much, Greg. It was interesting to see how much you've done despite not having as cohesive as a campus as perhaps our other American colleagues that spoke. So yeah, thanks for your input there, and thanks to everybody. This was really interesting. It's just fascinating to hear what everybody's done, how different everybody's experience was. And I personally gained a lot from this, and I hope all of you did too. And now I'm unmuting our presenters and I'd like to sort of open it up for a general discussion. I don't know if my colleagues in Bonn or Toronto or New York want to jump in and say anything. And while people are contemplating the first question, I want to have one of our Indian young ambassadors that didn't present but is listening in on the call wanted to say something. So Sinyanti, I am unmuting you now. Are you there?
Hey, can you hear me?
Hello? Yes, excellent. Hello and welcome, and thanks for listening in to this presentation. You're also a young ambassador?
Yes, and it was really great to listen to Vikas, Prateek, Govind, and I can see Balaji and Sukhvinder up there, so hello. And a very good evening to all the people there in India, and a good afternoon to everyone else in US. So I'm currently doing my PhD in Virginia Tech. So my condition is a little dicey since I have been appointed as a DAAD Young Ambassador for India, and then within like 2 months, I'm here in US doing my PhD. So I would like to ask Leslie and Mr. Mahendra specifically that what can be done to continue our role as DAAD ambassadors, but I mean target the international crowd or the current students of Virginia Tech here in Virginia. Can we do anything about it?
Yeah, that's great. I just want to point out how fantastically international that is, that you're a DAAD Young Ambassador from India who's now at Virginia Tech. I think it just sort of embodies this change by exchange. And I don't want to speak necessarily for my colleagues in the New York office because you probably work closer with them. I don't know if Peter would like to jump in, but I think there's absolutely room for collaboration with you there at Virginia Tech. Peter, do you have contacts already at Virginia Tech that you can connect with?
We do. If you could send us an email here in New York, or give me a call, we'd be more than happy to put you in touch somehow. Bridge Shanklin, just on the line, is one who works with us here helping run the Young Ambassador program, and by all means. So please, after the webinar, if you just want to send us an email, my email address is my last name, so it's Kerrigan, Kerrigan, at daad.org. And we'd be more than happy to work with you. Oh, great! Thank you. So yes, by all means, and we've had this kind of input from other students as well at other campuses. So thank you for your offer.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your help.
Yes, we also have a companion program called the Research Ambassador Program as well, and those are for more people. People are in the postdoc or in their final stages of their dissertation and up to senior faculty and scientists who are doing something similar to what most of you are doing, but they're reaching out to a different community, and you might even fit in that category as well. So we'll talk after the webinar. And I'd like to point out as well, Leslie, I think it's really fascinating in terms of looking or listening to what the young ambassadors in all, well, I guess we've had U.S. and India, no one from Canada has chimed in yet, but looking at what we can look at maybe cultural differences and what we can look at differences in terms of the culture of institutions as well as geography. I think we've seen a number of, or demographics, a number of experiences that are, there are similarities, and then there have been differences in terms of the numbers that our Indian colleagues are able to attract to their events, I wouldn't say the enthusiasm is different because it's quality versus quantity, but I think a lot of that has to go with what some of the U.S. ambassadors are saying in terms of cultural perceptions, in terms of their own realities, in terms of how they perceive the next stage of their life, where that should be, etc. But I found that to be really equally fascinating in terms of how more mobile or easily mobile some places appear to be than what we deal with on a daily basis.
Absolutely. Thanks, Peter. We have a young ambassador, another one from India that would like to chime in. Balaji, you are now unmuted. Hello. Hello. Balaji, are you there? Okay, while we wait for that, Brid Schenkel, our colleague in the New York office, also wanted to say something. Brid, would you like to chime in?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to thank everybody for their wonderful presentations, and I wanted to encourage, I think it was Sayanti, to get in touch with me. I actually have a couple of very nice and I think contacts at Virginia Tech that should be very helpful. And we do have another young ambassador not too far from Virginia Tech, actually. I also wanted to encourage the U.S. ambassadors to not despair if we're not getting the attendance numbers, but as you may have also noticed, we're also receiving a lot of emails from India in general, from people who are interested in funding, in going to Germany, and it seems that the need there is very large, and I'm not exactly sure how many universities there are. Maybe we should do a seminar on the whole educational background at some point, but here in the U.S., of course, there are so many schools, so many different types of opportunities that Germany, of course, may seem as an afterthought to many. But I think as your engagement has shown, and I'm very happy to see the German club at UC Santa Barbara, Shanna. I think we're on a roll. We're on a roll. So thank you.
Thanks, Britt. Sorry, I think I interrupted somebody there. Okay. Is anyone else have any comments, questions? Want to share their feedback on all the similarities and differences between all those that presented?
Yes, hi. My name is Jessica Denenberg. I'm the Program Officer, the Information Officer for the DAAD Information Center in Toronto. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Excellent, wonderful. Well, first of all, I'm sitting here with my colleague Eva Porten, and we both just wanted to say that we thought the presentations were absolutely fantastic, and we really enjoyed this cultural exchange and learning about the activities that are going on in other places, both in the U.S. and in India and also in Germany as well right now. We also just had a quick question, actually, with regard, well, it's not really a question, critique. Presentation was fantastic, but of course, as we know, it didn't really transfer over very well using the webinar technology. So we just wanted to know, he mentioned that there was perhaps a link that
he sent the link, and I think it only went to us. So, and Pratik, you can speak here shortly, but this is an excellent point, Jessica, that I should have said before. I would like to encourage all the ambassadors that presented today to email your presentation to me. Pratik, I got the link to yours, so I have that. But I'm going to circulate all the presentations to everyone that participated, so you can not only see the pictures, but everything. So great point, Jessica. And Pratik, I see you just sent it again. I'm going to make sure everyone gets that as well.
Okay.
Would you like to jump in here?
Thank you very much again to everyone. Greetings from Toronto, where it's currently -19 and snowy.
Yuck. So it looks like valid. Oh, sorry.
Hi.
Go ahead.
can I say something maybe briefly? This is Nina from Germany speaking again.
Go ahead, Nina.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh,
Great.
okay. I just wanted to say, because here in Germany it's not 19 degrees minus, I'm afraid only about 5, but still cold enough, and it's already evening, and I will have to go soon. I just wanted to say that for us here in head office, this Young Ambassador scheme is of course rather new. I mean, it's new for everybody, and while listening to all of you guys, I have the feeling that this is really something that is working very well. And so maybe I can just suggest that we do this again in a couple of, well, or maybe in a few months' time, and see how it's all going. And if we can then suggest to other countries where we have branch offices to set up this scheme, because I really think this is working. It's much more interesting, I think, if the students who might be interested in coming to Germany hear from the horse's mouth and not so much from us, you know, talking administrator heads. So I really think this is something we should look into worldwide, and so I'm really, really grateful to all of you, and I'm absolutely fascinated, I just have to say, by this webinar thing. I'm so sad that I don't have a presentation, not even a photo. So yeah, you know, you always learn something. You try to learn something every day. I certainly learned something today. So thank you very much for that.
Thanks, Nina. And to all the young ambassadors, if there's anything that any of you could gain from the head office, I know all the young ambassadors deal directly with their local contacts, but if there's anything that you could ever feel you could gain from working with the Bonn office or any more information, please always be in contact with us, either Apoorv, and he can pass you on, or through us, and we just want to keep these dialogues going. So yeah, always stay in touch. And looks like Balaji is on again and wanted to. This is another Indian young ambassador. You wanted to mention something? Are you there now?
Yeah. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, fantastic.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I know we're already running out of time, so I'll just quickly finish up whatever I have to say. Just like Sayanti's case, I'm an Indian ambassador, but right now in the United States, doing my master's right now in the University of Florida. After coming, I've worked as a DAAD ambassador in India for 3 months, and we had the presentation sessions and motivation sessions for the students there. But after coming here, what I felt is that there are a huge number of international students who are studying here in the United States. Anywhere between 1/5 to 1/3 of the students enrolled in any university are international students. And these are possibly a very good target group, because they are already outside their home, so they wouldn't have any problem in dealing with an international atmosphere. And as you can see, the RISE program right now, there are so many applicants who are international students, and I felt that probably I could speak to Leslie and probably zero down on something which could be done for these international students to get them on to Germany. So, and probably science could help me too in this foray.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to know that you're here in the States. In Florida, we have contacts there, and I think we should continue this conversation offline, absolutely, and see how we can work together to, just help you promote Germany there on your campus. So you're sort of, there's 2 of you now that are sort of North American, Indian, Germany ambassadors.
Yeah, it's confusing, I know.
No, it's great. I think it's phenomenal. It's maybe not exactly what the Indian office had in mind when they got all of you. I'm not sure. I can't speak for that, but I truly think it's fantastic. and if Apoorv, I don't know.
Yeah, Leslie,
Apoorv,
can you hear me now, Leslie?
Yay! Welcome. Hello.
Right. Great that you can hear me now. Ultimately, I had to change the system, and I unfortunately missed the first 2 presentations, but I've been able. I joined in when Pratik was speaking, so it was wonderful, as Dr. Lemons also mentioned. I heard Shana, I heard Greg, and a lot of the things that they said were really, I could relate to them, because we here in India face a similar situation when speaking to students. So it was quite an eye-opener for me realize that the kind of problems that that you guys are facing in the US are quite similar to those we face here, which again leads me to say that a webinar kind of a thing, or an interaction between, you know, us people here in India and those here, you guys in America, it really makes good sense to exchange with each other on a regular basis. This one particular session, this webinar, has been very interesting, also a first for me, and I gained quite a lot. And just coming back to this point now, I know we're running out of time, what you mentioned about like Balaji and Sayanti, now being in the US, it was obviously not really planned to be this way. It was very clear to us right in the beginning, because by the time we appointed our ambassadors, they were on the verge of leaving their universities. The timing was such. So we were aware of this, and we were thinking that either they would continue their work from wherever it is that they go, whether it's another university or whether it is some kind of some organization that they join. And as you can see with Govind and with Pratik, they've joined organizations. They're still actively working there. And Balaji, I see we have a Facebook page, and I regularly see Balaji commenting on some of the queries that we get from there. So I think even though they may not be physically present in India or at an Indian university, they are still fulfilling their role as a DAAD ambassador for students from India. So I think that way, that's already something that they're doing. I hope they will continue doing that. And apart from that, of course, getting in touch with the New York office and looking as to how we can partner there, that sounds like a good idea as well.
Great. Oh, I just got another question here. Shauna wanted to know how many countries have young ambassadors. Right now, it's just the United States, Canada, and India. But if I love Nina's Lemons' suggestion there in the Bonn office to see if that can be expanded. I think it's proven here by everybody's presentations how powerful each of your experiences is. And we have some more. Vikas, would you like to speak up? You should be unmuted.
Yes.
You said you had a question. Great.
Yes, am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, thank you again. So yeah, I was being sitting quite a long time after giving my presentation at the beginning. So while the issue of which college has a better beat still stays disputed, so I just would like to pose a question to all the colleagues from the United States. So now that I spent quite some time here in Germany, and now I'm a permanent student here, so speaking straight from ground zero, I see that a lot of students who come to from the United States to Germany are usually through short-term exchange programs or to pursue some internships. So and now that since the last couple of years, since the German education system has changed in the sense that they also have the bachelor and master separation, and since it will be very compatible with the United States. So are you having some programs or initiatives where you're trying to promote full-time courses to be pursued here by American students? And also the advantage in this way could be that, you know, as we know here, the tuition fees are much lower in Germany compared to the United States. So there could be some, I mean, I know for sure that there are quite a percentage of American families who cannot afford university education, or especially in some places like California where it gets really expensive. So do you think now it would be a good time to start really talking to the American students about pursuing full-time education here in Germany?
Yeah, that's a great point, because and I just cut somebody off, so whoever was talking, go ahead.
I was just going to say that most of the people that I've talked to, they're not very aware that it's a lot cheaper in Germany, and they're not aware that it would be transferable so easily just to go over there and to pursue like a system that's now like fitting to ours. So I think definitely it's something that we should start promoting for, because I mean, I don't know if it's something that they'll be interested in to like further their studies abroad in Germany. But I think once they hear the price differences, I think it's definitely something they will be interested in.
Yeah, because this
that's
is
all
just
of
a
your
very
jobs
recent
as
development.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm chiming in. This is Jane Fu at the New York office, and it is a growing interest in North America. There are more and more applicants every year for our annual study scholarship that are pursuing a master's degree in Germany, and so not at the bachelor's degree level yet, but at the master's degree level, definitely more students doing full-time study in Germany.
Peter, did you want to jump in as well?
Yes, I guess there are two separate issues here, and thank you for your comments because they're completely true. The first of which is the study abroad market, and that's tends to be the undergraduate student who goes to Germany to study for either a short term or for a year. And then there's, as Jane just mentioned, the undergraduate student who is graduating and then going on to doing graduate work in Germany. In the U.S., in Canada, I don't think is dramatically different. The number of students going abroad to study abroad as an undergraduate is increasing exponentially every year, but the length of the stay in Germany is decreasing every year. And so that is one of the reasons why the RISE program, it's called WISE in India and it's called RISE here in North America, was created, was to actually provide shorter-term opportunities for students in non-traditional fields, as you know, to do an internship in Germany. And so we, as far as outreach here, look at both the undergraduate student population who's going abroad. We're of course delighted if they go for a year. More often than not, they go for shorter-term experiences, what you're seeing now in Germany. And then it's the undergraduate students about to graduate to try to get them to go do some sort of degree in Germany as a graduate student. So yeah, we're aware of it, and it's a challenge. And I like the comment beforehand about the international students, whether they're here or elsewhere, they're usually the most mobile, and that's the group that we try to tap in as well to get to go to Germany.
Excellent, excellent feedback, Peter. Thanks for chiming in. And we also, Govind wanted to jump in here as well. You are unmuted. Can you speak up? Govind?
Thanks, Lucy.
Yes, fantastic.
The point I would like to mention here that everyone is aware about the potential Germany has, the standard of education and everything. But the biggest hurdle which comes, the blockage which comes to the mind of any student who has completed its graduation year and would like to pursue masters is that, okay, what after 2 years or what after 4 years of my masters or PhD respectively? Like for the US, it has been, as from India's point of view, it has been a proven formula that okay, you go to US, you study for 2 years or 4 years, you land up with a good job and a happy ending. But this particular scene is not clear, and I feel this is the biggest the blockade or the question which we need to answer to influx for a greater influx of students going to Germany for higher education.
And I think you cut out there for a second, or at least my audio did. And so you're saying that we have to solve the problem of what you do in Germany afterwards, so the promise of a job or success with that degree, or transferring it back. If you can just make your point again. Sorry, I lost audio for a second.
Can I speak?
Yeah, Leslie,
No,
you were you got me right. That's the main point regarding what after the education, after the completion of the masters. I'm sorry. Yeah, please go ahead.
Oh, great. That's. Thank you for confirming that. That was what I wanted to make sure. And yeah, unfortunately I think Nina Lemons had to step off there, and Bon. Does anyone else here, perhaps Peter or Apoorv, know of any sort of initiatives happening in Germany for what people will do after their degree? So if there's any sort of statistics about making it easier for them to get visas or transfer that degree somewhere else, does anyone want to try? Feel free to just chime in, anybody that has a point.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Go ahead.
Leslie. Yeah.
Am I still muted?
No, Peter, sorry, with Pratik there's a delay. He has a long delay, so Pratik, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, so I faced the same problem as Govind. So what I actually did was I actually found out see every year some 3,000 hello. Yeah. So since I faced the same problem, what I have done is I made a list of people who have done the education in Germany, or I found their contact somehow. And whenever people ask me this question of what to do after that, I give them these examples of these people who have already studied there or have spent some time in Germany. And then I also know that once you complete your graduation, you get a period of 1 year in which you can search for a job. And after that, you get a time period of 5 years in which you can you get a work visa which gets renewed every 5 years. So such statistics, it took some time to find that out, and I found actual people who are there, Indians who go there, every 3,000 Indians who go there every year. So these things, when I give the people, they are much more satisfied than just telling them about the education.
Excellent, excellent point, Pratik. And sorry for the audio issues. I think our connection, there's a delay of 5 seconds or so, so we could absolutely hear you. And perhaps you could even share some of those success stories with us. Just do a reply all to the last email I sent, and just share that with us. And anybody else that has any ideas after the fact that you weren't able to share today, please share them with the group, because it's stories like that that can help the other young ambassadors really, I guess, have it in their toolbox of ways to help in their discussions with other students. And I just looked at my clock and realized it's 10 after 10 in the morning my time, and you can all transfer that to your own time zone. So we're a little over time here. So I just wanted to open up for any last comments. I feel like one thing I learned from this is that we need more time, that I should definitely schedule for the next one at least an hour and a half, because everyone has really, really interesting stuff to say, and I feel like we could be on much longer. So with that, are there any final notes, points anybody'd like to make? Any final words before we close for the day or for the evening for our poor friends in India, who it's much closer to your bedtime?
Can I just comment on the last issue, Leslie? Am I?
Absolutely.
Okay, just very briefly. Thanks. You know, people. It's again going back to the point of what are sort of the common challenges, and I think, and it sounds like for the Indian market, it's pretty similar to the North American, is that students want to see, particularly if they're going to do, whether it be study abroad or do a degree, they want to see what they can do with that degree or that experience. And that has been certainly the message that we at DAAD outside of Germany have brought back to our colleagues at the universities in Germany, that if you want to attract non-German students, you need to prove to them that their degree has value outside of Germany, that they either can transfer the credits or that they can find employment, whether it be in Germany or elsewhere in the world. And so there has been a movement in that direction through alumni work, and here in North America we have our own alumni association, we have our own alumni activities. There's also the Deutschland Alumni Portal, which many of you may be involved with. That's certainly a dramatic step in the right direction. And then there are the different portals, the Research in Germany Land of Ideas and the Study in Germany Land of Ideas, and also our colleagues at the sister organizations like the German Research Foundation, the Fund Humboldt. I think people, you know, at least behind the U.S. and Canada in terms of alumni work, in India, I suspect, but I think people are realizing that those testimonials, is what you're asking for, are crucial in terms of marketing Germany as a viable destination for study and research. So it seems, again, no cultural difference there, that we're all confronting that challenge. And that will be my last comment, Leslie. Thanks.
Thanks, Peter. Anybody else? Final word before we close and continue our days and evenings? No? Okay. Yeah, I just want to take this opportunity really quick to thank everybody for all of your fantastic input, the amazing presentations. I have to say, I would like to have 400 people at a presentation and get some flowers one day. So, but no, all jokes aside, it's just really been phenomenal, and I want to thank all of you for taking the time not only to prepare your presentations, but to sit with us here, work through some of the glitches in this technology, and share your successes and challenges with everybody. So thank you. Please, everyone, email me your presentations if you're willing to share them, and I will do a one group email so that all of you have them. And yeah, thank you. Feel free to contact any of us at any time, and I know that Apoorv and Peter and I will be discussing these things moving forward, and also how we can work to keep these programs thriving. So thanks to everybody. Have a great day, and Dankeschön.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. I'm going to end the webinar.
Bye, Leslie, and thank you for doing a wonderful job.
Oh, thanks to all of you for participating. Tschüss. Tschüss.